Welcome back to AM 590, 99.7 on your FM dial and everywhere at newsradioklbj.com. Let's give them the business. It's brought to you by Pinballs. That's Pinballs with a Z, pinballs.com. We keep talking about all these people moving to Texas, and the governor says we're on pace to keep that growth all the way through 2025 and beyond.
Governor Greg Abbott says the Texas Stock Exchange should start making trades in Dallas in 2025.
No new stock exchange has been as well funded as this one is. No one has been able to get up and going as rapidly as they have been.
He says Texas could soon pass France to become the 7th biggest economy in the world, and the state is still drawing businesses from places like California, Illinois, and New York.
They cannot deal with the extraordinary heavy hand of and uncertainty of the regulatory environment.
He says the Texas economy has become more diverse, but oil and gas still amount for the second biggest chunk of tax revenue in the state, behind the sales tax.
Newsman Alan Skaya reporting. The head of the FAA has announced he'll step down next month. This comes amidst some big issues with staffing in airport control towers at airports all across the nation, especially here in Austin. Yeah, the Austin staffing shortage continues to pose some bigger problems, including an FAA-ordered ground delay just last weekend. Austin area Congressman Lloyd Doggett tells CBS Austin he met with Michael Whitaker earlier this week at the FAA to talk about the decision orders for the delay.
I left the meeting feeling we're going backwards instead of forward in solving this problem.
Yeah, Doggett says Whitaker's decision to step down is very concerning because it's coming at a time of transition of power in D.C., and with the holiday travel season in full swing, he's worried there could be some significant impacts in the coming weeks. It is 5:51. City leaders continue efforts to find money to build the caps and stitches over I-35, transforming those bridges that cross the interstate into parkland. The city council this week has accepted a federal grant of more than $105 million. On top of that, they also approved taking $41 million in loan money for the project. Bill Bunch is with the Save Our Springs Alliance and says the city council has not done a good job in planning this process.
To get people to be on, a big concrete slab over an interstate freeway, when you really think about it, makes almost no sense.
He and others, they say the price tag's too high, and Austin taxpayers shouldn't have to bear the brunt of the cost. Instead, Bunch says the city should demand TxDOT foot the bill for all 8 caps, and, the cost is already approaching $1 billion. It is 5:52. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has finalized a rule that limits banks' ability to charge overdraft fees. It would cap fees at $5. It's a steep drop from the current $35, potentially saving Americans about $5 billion a year. Now, according to the director of Robots Chopra, he said, for far too long, the largest banks have exploited the legal loophole that has drained billions of dollars from Americans' deposit accounts. Yeah, that rule is set to take effect October the 1st of 2025. Mortgage rates dipped to 6.6% this week, and realtors expect rates to drop a little bit more next year. Yeah, the National Association of Realtors predicts that rates for the 30-year fixed mortgage will be just around 6% somewhere in 2025. That'll lead to higher demand for both and previously owned homes and new homes, with about 6.2 million more households able to buy a home. It is 5:53. It looks like the Hot Ones. You've seen this YouTube show on YouTube. It's called Hot Ones. Well, BuzzFeed has sold the popular YouTube series to the tune of $82.5 million. The buyers include a show's host and co-creator Sean Evans and the podcast company Crooked Media. 5:53, a food delivery company makes a move to increase driver ID checks after complaints about traffic safety. Here's Fox reporter Lisa Lacera.
DoorDash says it will require some drivers to complete real-time ID checks immediately after they complete a delivery, as it has been under pressure to make sure drivers are operating legally and not sharing their accounts with others. Officials in Boston, New York, and other major cities have said in many cases, people who have multiple traffic violations continue to make deliveries for the company using accounts belonging to others. Previously, drivers would occasionally be asked to re-verify their identity before or after a shift. DoorDash says it found some drivers were getting around the requirements by sharing the accounts, and it says some people paid authorized users for access to their accounts. Lisa Lacera, Fox News.
The Federal Trade Commission pops the cork in a lawsuit against the largest distributor of wine and spirits in the United States.
The FTC says Southern Glazer's Wine and Spirits doesn't give small stores access to discounts and rebates the larger chains get, which puts them at a competitive disadvantage. The FTC says small businesses getting squeezed results in fewer choices and higher prices for Americans. But Southern Glazers says they comply with numerous regulations and call the legal action both misguided and legally flawed. Miami-based Southern Glazers is one of the largest privately held companies in the U.S., generating $26 billion in revenue from sales to stores in 2023, including Total Wine, Costco, and Kroger. Tom Rigotti, Fox News.
Meta says they've recovered from a major outage earlier this week.
If none of your Meta apps were working the other day, it wasn't you. The Mark Zuckerberg company experienced a widespread outage Wednesday that left devotees without the ability to use Facebook, Instagram, or Threads. But also on the fritz was WhatsApp, which is relied upon by people outside the United States for secure messaging. Down Detector listed 66,000 outage reports for Instagram and more than 96,000 reports for Facebook. Meta finally got their platforms up and running somewhat by the afternoon, making the announcement on, of all places, Elon Musk's X, the former Twitter. Eben Brown, Fox News.
It is 5:55. Stay close. Traffic, your forecast, and the Todd and Oz Show.
The Todd and Oz Show.